You know, the problem with always sticking to just the meta is that you'll never find anything to beat the meta. For example,
Oh, it kills very quickly afterwards.
do I have your attention now? I'm honored that you all thought this stupid build series was good enough to keep around. Thank you. As a reward, I have taken Spite itself and made it into a weapon. You know the drill. My goals are always the same: cause physical, mental, and emotional damage. I have 5 builds, some good, some bad, and all unique, taken from you all from the comment section and live stream chats, as well as a few of us from here at TDT. Let's begin. Titans got on my case last time because I did not feature a build for them. So Titans, I present to you with the Anti-barricade build. A build designed around asserting dominance on any of the other Crayola crunches you find in the wild. What dark magic is this, you ask? Well, this is the helmet that looks like someone sneezed on a pine cone, the Khepri's horn. Not only do you get the ability to spam even more semi-permeable walls of get the hell away from me more than the average Titan because of its built-in solar damage regeneration on the barricade, but you also turn your physical restraining order into one that can commit first-degree murder. The best part is that your opponent can't even be mad at what they just got killed by. Who the hell runs Khepri's? Pure respect is the instinctual human reaction. It's like, damn it, that freaking Titan is so annoying. What's he killing you with? Khepri's horn? Of course, your opponents have to be caught off guard and decently spaced back for this to work, but you know what often gets placed 15 to 20 meters away from your engagements? Other barricades. Better still is that they are often stationary, laughing at you. Khepri's is horny for players like these, overconfident, relaxed, and unsuspecting, ripe for a wave of 200 damage to humble them in a hurry. But like the great philosopher once said, an exotic armor piece does not a build make. You need weapons. Honestly, I couldn't give a damn what you want for your primary. I like the dire promise, and we are living in a weird timeline where hand cannons are not the top meta picks. What I do recommend is the duality, a shotgun that despite its decent usage rate is still, in my opinion, criminally underrated right now. It's an incredibly rangy slug in the ADS mode, and it's arguably the best archetype of pellet shotgun from the hip. Even more than that, this shotgun is solar, which means every time you do turn your target into a baloney cosplay, you get barricade energy. It's a win-win, baby. Flavor B, viability B. Before I get into some more builds you all have suggested, a friend you may know as the Everbot-tastic Electro came to me with an absolutely devious idea. What if we found a way not just to remove a Titan barricade, but to actually punish a Titan for using his barricade in the first place? Enter the Cold Heart. Listen. Whatever comments people have told you about my opinions of trace rifles are, they are lies, they are slander. Cold Heart feels like it was made for the explicit purpose to give you the legal ability to sue the barricade in a court of law. Here's the trick. Cold Heart ramps damage the longer it's held on a target. This alone makes it into a surprisingly decent weapon, as it has both good range stability and a respectable time to kill, especially on the head. But this damage ramping works on Titan barricades, meaning that you can pretty mindlessly blow your load onto the Titan's wall like some crappy graffiti artist, and when the barricade is down, the Titan on the other side gets to witness the absolute horror of a 31 headshot damage at 1000 RPM. As long as you are away from shotgun range, there isn't much a Titan can do about it either. It's a beautiful orchestra of irony, and you are the composer. But we don't stop there. Oh no. We have months of trauma and frustration pent up inside us. We want the Titan on the other side to suffer the same PTSD we have. We want the Titans, while sobbing and crying, to retire for the rest of the season and feel an uncontrollable fear at the sound of a blue laser beam spinning up. Enter the Getaway Artist. By themselves, a perfectly fine and perfectly serviceable exotic armor piece. Free amplified and steroid juiced up arc soul for the price of a grenade's pretty good. But we often forget that an amplified Warlock gains bonuses above the normal movement buffs and such. Ball Lightning, while amplified, goes from a relatively decent 70 damage on its downward bolt to roughly 180 damage due to the fact that it pulses more than once. In other words, you can throw this over a barricade and force the Titan on the other side to either flee or suffer massive damage, so much so that even just your arc soul itself would be more than comfortable with cleaning them up on the other side. Absolutely big brain build, Electro. Flavor S, viability A. I'm sad to say that this go around, I was not as impressed by some user suggested builds. Not that they were bad, but that they just weren't as clever. Let's start with an Ice Titan build built around a Fighting Lion and Hoarfrost Z. The idea with this one is to use the glacier crystals like an explosive barrel that you can throw out whenever you want, and the fighting line is a stick of TNT to set them off. I decided to pair this entree with the side dish of the Loadouts, a surprisingly effective high-impact auto. The setup works fine enough, but I feel like it's lacking a real competitive edge. With no disrespect to the build creator, this felt like a worse version of the current meta. Barricade often, grenade with big AoE, and a ranged damage spam. If there was a way to combo the Glacier Grenade with the Fighting Lion faster, like, you know, be able to actually throw and fire pretty quickly, this would be better. But as you know, Guardians only have one hand unless they're holding a two-handed weapon, so throwing and firing at the same time is just physically impossible alongside swimming. One thing that isn't immediately obvious is how many stasis shards you get off of this setup. With the right setup, it's very conceivable to have stasis overshield from the Whisper of Rhyme the entire game. But unfortunately, this dream takes a rather large setup for realistically only a mild return. Flavor, A. Viability, C. The build that made LeBron cry is the title that caught my attention. That's an interesting name, I foolishly thought to myself. I bet it's going to... Yep. It's the frickin' Ruinous effigy again. At this point, I've been forced to use this disappointing excuse for an exotic weapon enough to be like a beekeeper. I'm immune to its poison. Yeah, I just have sort of accepted that my audience is filled with masochists and psychopaths because no person with a healthy mental fortitude with an entirely straight face would ever say the words Ruinous effigy build. And damn it, I think the psychosis is contagious. I got not just one, not two, but 3 double kills with this Space Jam slam. The build creator was actually pretty clever here. They recommended a bow swap setup to help prop up the shenanigans of the effigy. Listen, if nothing else, this build is like a detox from the average PvP experience. This build is like playing a completely different game. While everyone is playing Destiny 2, you are playing some weird space magic version of NBA 2K. And yes, before you ask, I did like the build, you sick twisted fucks. Flavor, S. Viability, C. Our last build is another Fighting Lion build. Woo! Look, I like the funny boom boom stick just as much as the next guy, but if you want to get featured, I'm like Chef Ramsay. I demand properly salted, fully cooked, and variety in my PvP meals. The promise of turning into Frankenstein's IED was an enticing one, double scatter grenades, double grenade launchers. The only issue is that this game's TTK is faster than most of the travel times of these tools in most circumstances. Not to mention, this build also requires an insanely good understanding of projectile arc and timing. If a target is moving, you can't just aim directly at them with any other weapon. You will have to do geometry homework in less than 0.8 seconds in your head, which even for a massively uncontestable Warlock brain like myself, it is difficult to do in most cases. Is the build fun? Fun enough, but that fun is hampered by a severely sharp learning curve with a low reward. Flavor, B. Viability, D. I am looking for unique and particularly clever builds. If you have something like that, drop it in the comments. You have a good chance of getting featured. Subscribe, leave those builds below. Bless your faces, and deuces.
I know the sheep.